at before, select color range, but this time instead of sampled colors, we have highlights, midtones, and shadows. Let's say I just wanted to affect the highlights on this photograph. I only wanted to target the highlights. Well, if I say select my highlights and hit OK, I now have a selection of my highlights. I can then create a levels or curves adjustment, highlights. And I can affect just the highlights of my photo. If I wanted to affect just the midtones, select color range, midtones. Hit OK. Create another levels adjustment or curves adjustment or whatever I want. Call it midtones. And I can adjust those. And then if I really wanted to, I could do shadows. Select.
Yay.
You have to make, the one thing that gets tricky about this is you have to make sure to select the pixels of the layer. So if I just come up here and hit select and I'm like, oh, got it, where'd it go? Right, it's grayed out. That's because I didn't select my background. I don't have my background highlighted. Now select color range, shadows. I can create another one. Let's make it levels. Call them shadows. I'll make curves on accident. Before, after. It's just a different way to isolate tones.
And if you do it, you have to do like each one on a different layer?
You wouldn't have, like maybe I didn't want to, maybe I just wanted to touch the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. Like some images you only need to touch certain areas, and that's fine. You don't want to adjust different things.
Yeah.
If you wanted to separate them all out, yeah, you could. But let's say, for example, like let's say I did my regular curves, right? And I was like, oh, my highlights, you know, I like how my bottom looks here, but I don't like necessarily what it did up here.
Mm-hmm.
Then I could say select color range, highlights. I don't want the invert yet. Curves. And now, yeah, it's doing it. I can tone down just my highlights without affecting the rest of the image.
I got it. Okay.
So it's just a way to start isolating parts out. This will matter a lot when we start playing with people's skin tone. When we want to have like a smoother transition between the shadows, the highlights, and the midtones in people's skin tone, using this type of selection really starts to matter. So let's not worry about the more complicated way to do that right now.
It's hard.